Welcome into the latest edition of Extra Time. We're doing a first edition here. Gab Marcotti is joining us.
Well, Frank made
Craig
an
and Frank
executive
are here.
decision. He was going to go to... I'm not going to mention it. I should never give people's travel plans
No, you
away.
shouldn't.
Because he's a wanted man.
Yes, he is.
But he's going somewhere tonight
Frank's
rather than
going
driving in
yeah,
the morning with
correct,
the traffic. Very,
correct. I'm not
very
telling you
shrewd,
where,
smart decision
His
from Frank.
private airport where his private jet awaits.
Sure.
Okay, which side Liverpool board going to take? Oh, which side are the Liverpool board going to take? Slot or Salah? Gab.
Well, I think before they take sides, I think they should kind of look at themselves. It's been an onslaught of everybody, condemning Salah for his words, and you can see why. But I think at the same time, you have to be realistic, and you have to look at the broader picture and look at the players who arrived this summer. They knew Salah was a question mark when they extended his contract, which is why they only extended it for 2 seasons. And I would have imagined that they would have sat down with Arne Slot and obviously Richard Hughes and Edwards, and they would have said, all right, what if Salah has a dip? How are we going to change this? Now we've ended up in a situation where, the last 3 games he's been on the bench, they looked maybe, some people might say, a little bit better with Szoboszlai on the right. But if you're Salah, you know that even if this works, when you come back, you're not coming back to play on the right wing because you're a completely different player. So if it's Szoboszlai that gives you the necessary balance that Liverpool have been craving all season, and they achieve that balance while he's away at the Cup of Nations, only way he's getting back into the team is in a different position, unless you expect Slot to redraw the plans again. So I think that is a difficult position that they're in. That is a conversation which should have been had. If a guy says he has no relationship with the coach, either he's exaggerating or the coach isn't doing his job. And I would expect people within the club to know where the truth lies.
Okay, for the panel, I'll put this to you, Craig. What does Fran Garcia do at Real Madrid? After his performance today, what's the point of him being on the team?
Well, I don't think Fran Garcia is responsible for all Real Madrid's issues, but he's part of a squad, and the only reason he's in the side is because they have a mountain of injuries in the defensive areas. Now, when Alonso played him in the left side of midfield at Elche, that's not fair on him, and it was really not a very good look for Xabi Alonso either, making that decision. Personally, watching La Liga every week, do I think Fran Garcia is good enough even to be a squad player at Real Madrid? No, I don't. But guess what he's got at the moment? He's got availability and he's got legs to run about.
What is his position?
Left back.
He's a real left back.
He's a left back and not a good enough one for Real Madrid. Ferland Mendy's been there, they've signed Carreras. David Alaba can play centre back or left back, but his career's just been latterly just absolutely tarnished with injuries. So yeah, the answer is, long term he's not good enough for what Real Madrid need.
Gab's pulling a face. Are you a Fran Garcia fan, Gab? You're not having this?
No, I agree broadly with Craig. I'm not. I feel like he fell into the left back position with the build he has. I don't think he has a physicality to play left back for Real Madrid because he doesn't have the other aspects that can make up for the physicality. So I could maybe see him playing as a winger on a bad team, but he can't be Real Madrid's week in, week out left back. And they know that because, as Craig said, that's why they signed Carreras.
Okay.
Well, just briefly, Dani Carvajal hasn't got the physicality you would imagine for a fullback, but he's just got
He has a rage.
He's an amazing. He's maybe a little bigger than Fran Garcia, to be honest with you, but he's just such a good player. He covers for all these, the physical. What's the right word? His physical deficiencies, actually defending the back post from crosses and stuff like that. He's just such a good, intelligent footballer that he makes up for it in different ways. Unfortunately, Fran Garcia isn't anywhere near that.
It was like Carvalho was educated in the 90s with Italian defenders. He knows exactly what to do to put down a forward line player. he knows exactly what to do. He's annoying. You hate him when you play against, and you love him when you play with.
You want him on your team. Frank, who's playing worse, Real Madrid or Liverpool?
Oh, come on. That's not even a question. Liverpool. Liverpool, it's a shamble. Real Madrid, they're second in the league, which is not the case for Liverpool. And overall, I would say, nothing goes well for Liverpool. Some stuff goes right for Real Madrid at some point. 4 days ago, they had a very good game. Liverpool, we're still waiting.
Okay. Gab, when will Juve's troubles end?
It's a really good question. Look, I argued when Spalletti came in, wouldn't have been my choice that they need to hit the reset button. Because when you don't pay your credit card bill, okay, and like it comes back and you're like, oh look, minimum payment, $25. I'll just pay this, and then it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Right now, the club, Damien Comolli's getting killed for the transfer window this summer. You go back and you look at it, most of the players they spent money on were players that they had committed to before. They're inheriting one bad position after the next, and if you just throw money at it thinking, oh, we need to appease the fans by getting back into the top four, if they don't do it responsibly, they're going to be back in that same situation. I think they need to let some of those high-priced veterans run out their contracts, and I'm thinking of people like Kostic. I'm thinking of people like Rugani, who I genuinely believed had retired, and then, oh look, he's still a Juve player 15 years later. And they need to try to build something long-term, even with a younger, cheaper manager. Instead, they went for the bling manager in Spalletti, who maybe can get you top four this year, and maybe bring some money in short term. But if you go with Spalletti, then you got to give him a Spalletti type budget and Spalletti type players, because otherwise, there's going to be revolt from the media and from the fans and from the commentary out there. So and they're not going to be strong enough, and they'll just go along with it. Giorgio Chiellini's going to say, "Oh no, well we got to go for it," But I think most of all, what Juve need to do is they need to forget about the past, honor the past, but do not compare today's players and say, "Oh, but when we had Bonucci and Chiellini and Del Piero, it was different." Guess what? You don't have those guys. You can't think like that. You can't play that way. The game has moved on. Those guys aren't there. Just accept the fact that you're in a giant hole that was made 6 or 7 years ago, and the people are working to get you out of it. They're not the people who created that giant hole.
Okay.
There's the answer to that question.
Absolutely.
When's it going to end? not very soon by Gab's answer.
Craig,
Have they just been watching them? Have they been taking the Manchester United blueprint, Juventus, for how to create a very unbalanced squad?
Well, yeah, the difference is that, Manchester United, they're still spending money. They're not profitable the last couple of years, but, they can go out and do that. With Juventus, it's just they've been kicking the can down the road. Manchester United haven't had all the legal difficulties, of course, that Juventus have had. It's just been sort of this continuous spiral. And look, haters out there will say that it started with when they pushed out the boat to sign Cristiano Ronaldo. I'm certainly not going to blame Ronaldo himself, but thinking it was a good idea to spend all that money, that somehow you'd go over the top and you'd become Real Madrid and generate €1 billion of revenues every year just because you have Cristiano, that was an incredibly stupid gamble that was made by the club at the time under Andrea Agnelli, and that is one of the big mistakes that they're still paying for today. And then I could add high-priced free agents from Pogba to Rabiot to whatever else, signing them to stupid contracts, thinking, oh, look, we can win the Champions League now. Guys, you cannot. You can't. You have to actually build something. You have to put on your big boy pants and act like grown-ups and accept the fact that it's going to take time and it's going to take planning and believe in kids. And then don't give away Dean Huyson. Don't give away Matthias Sule. Don't give away Kenan Yildiz. Don't lose Kenan Yildiz. He's a gem. Let him grow. But enough. I'm not even a Juve fan. This gets me upset.
Yeah. Keep paying that minimum payment.
Yeah.
Okay, everyone blamed Ancelotti for not playing Arda Guler more often, but I still don't think he's ready to start in midfield enough. He loses the ball, he gets run past way too often.
Well, You know, we started with Garcia.
For the most part, he's been. Let me just put it another way. For the most part, he's been one of Real Madrid's better players.
Yeah, that's what it is.
One of the better creators. You know, if it wasn't for him, at times Mbappe wouldn't have the service because he's the one passer, the one real passer. Bellingham's not really a passer. Tchouameni's not. Camavinga's not. Valverde's a runner. And he's the one player, along with Mastantuono, who's not been playing recently, he's the one guy that can actually manipulate the ball. So, I don't quite agree with that.
No, I don't agree as well. I think people are trying to find who's guilty. We went to Fran Garcia, now Arda Guler, and you always point the player who normally don't play, but you never touch the superstars. But you have to aim the superstars if it doesn't work at first. And today, nothing worked. Nothing worked, and everybody was guilty for that loss.
Last question. Gab, while you are not a quarter Scottish like Kay, you have deep family ties to Scotland. Will you be cheering them on against your mate Ancelotti in June?
Oh, that's a really good question. And of course, as I mentioned, with Nigeria not going to the World Cup and Italy, who knows, it may need to be Scotland, not least because a big chunk of the Scotland team, a sizable chunk, actually play in Italy. From Lewis Ferguson to Scott McTominay to Billy Gilmer. So there'd be a lot of reasons to do that. Can I root against Ancelotti? Hell yeah, if he's coaching Brazil. I mean, I'm not saying I want to root against Brazil, but I will always take the underdog. So yes, I would be supporting.
But he will have the time to cheer. If Italy doesn't qualify, he will have the time to cheer another team.
Will you accept Gab?
What as?
You said that you didn't accept me as a Scot. So would you expect...
Well, it's Gab's wife, is it? I believe.
What are your deep family ties,
Yes.
Gab?
Oh, well, you know.
Well,
he
he's
has to.
And he's also been seen on not recently, but on a regular basis, was seen at the Malmaison bar in Glasgow drinking alcohol with me. So in some sense, that brings him into the Scotland.
If the general decide that he has to support Scotland, you know.
Yeah, I think it's a...
He will.
I was when Gab said a big chunk of the players are playing in Italy, I thought he was going to say, but a big chunk of the players are just not very good. Which I don't know. Could be true.
I mean, that is one way that the Italians can still maybe get on board.
A lot of Italians in Scotland, you know. A lot of Italians up there.
They get everywhere, don't they?
Well, and also the wife of the current Italy manager happens to be Scottish as well. So we know who he's going to support if he screws it up and doesn't get Italy to the World Cup.
That was the Italy manager who was just a wee 18-year-old playing for Rangers when I was playing at Celtic. We played against each other in the Old Firm game, and he was even more of a nuisance as a teenager. Like it was like having a little rat scurrying at your ankles, 18-year-old Gattuso. Can you imagine? Remember the energy he had when he was 25, 26, 27? Think about him when he was 18. It's like incredible.
Yeah. Go onto YouTube and look up Gattuso getting pranked on Italian TV. You don't need to understand Italian. It's brilliant. ESPN FC is available every single day on ESPN+. Be sure to be with us.